Okay, fifth graders, let's see if this recording takes. This is my third try. Something, I had to restart my tablet. I'm hoping it's going to work now. If it doesn't, it's probably going to give up. I'll give up and just teach it to you guys tomorrow. Anyway, so we're doing the reteaching, chapter 4, pages 167, 168. If you remember, what's nice about the reteaching is that, under each set they give an example. So in set A right there, it kind of tells you how to do problems 1 through 8, right here. And then at set B, they give you an example and they want you to do these problems right there. So you can just kind of look at the examples under each set. But let's just do a couple of these together here. So I'm looking at number 4, for example. So what do we have here? We have a 0.008 times 10 squared. Well, 10 squared is the same thing as 100. And so the number's getting larger, so we're moving the decimal to the right. How many places? Well, how many, or what's the size of the exponent? 2, so we know we're going to move the decimal 2 places. 1, 2, so it's going to be right before the 8. So the answer would be 0.8, and so you would just go ahead and write that right there, 0.8. 5, 6, 7, and 8 looks like you're estimating. So let's look at number 8, for example. What do we have here? We got 24 times 3.9 equals, well, if we're estimating, I would make 24, 25, 3.9, that would be 4. Well, what's 4 times 25? That's 100. So I think a good estimation for number 8 would be 100. Okay, so for set B, they're talking about have you guys using place value blocks. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can just do the actual problem. And so for example, let's look at, which one here? How about number 3? For example, number 3. So we got a 14 times 9.67. So I would just go ahead and set this up. We have a 9.67, and it's being multiplied by 14. Okay? And so let's see here. 4 times 7 is 28. Put down the 8, carry the 2. 4 times 6 is what? 24 plus 2 more is 26, but on the 6, carry the 2. 4 times 9, what's that? 36 plus 2 more is 38. 38. So put down a placeholder 0 on the second row. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 6 is 6. And 1 times 9 is 9. Now we just simply add them up. 8 and 0 is 8. 6 and 7 is 13. Put down the 3, carry the 1. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 6 is 15. Put down the 5, carry the 1. 1 and 9 is 10, plus 3 more is 13. Now, how many decimal points do we have to worry about here? Just 2 places here, because the 14, it's already to the far right. So we start right here. And we go over 2 places, 1, 2. So the decimal goes right here. So it looks like the answer is 135.38. 135.38. Okay. Let's see here. Let's take a look at the next page, set C. And is this still recording? Yes, good. Gosh, this might actually work. Of course, at this point, if it stops recording for some reason, I'm going to call it good, because I'm not going to redo the whole thing again. It says model using 100th grids. So it says find each product. You don't have to model these. If it helps you, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm not going to concern myself with it. You guys should be able to do those 1 through 8. I don't see that as being anything problematic in there. In set D, it says use properties to find 0.8 times 0.4. So rewrite each decimal as a product of the whole number and a decimal. Next, use the associative commutative properties to rearrange the factors. So 0.8 times 0.4. They've got 8 times 0.1, which is the same thing as 0.8. And then 4 times 0.1, which is the same thing as 0.4. So you could just do 8 times 4, which is what, 32. How many decimal places do we have to worry about? Well, you know, if we were to move them over to the far right, each one would be moved over once. And so then you'd start here and move over 2 places back. And that's what you get. You get 0.32. You can do that if it helps you in set D to think about it in that way, but I don't, you know, I don't think it's necessary. I'm looking at number 1 here, for example. So what do we have here? We have 0.6 times 0.3. Okay. Well, first off, what's 6 times 3? That's 18. All right. How many decimals do we have to move, and how far to get them all the way to the right? 1, 2. So if we start here, 1, 2. So the answer would be 0.18. And so you could just write down 0.18. You could go through the trouble of writing, you know, 0.6, or actually, I'm sorry, it'd be 6 times 0.1 plus 3, it's a plus, believe it or not, 3 times 0.1, and which is, you know, really what we're doing, or what they did right here. And then I guess you could write 6 times 3 times 0.1 times 0.1. That would be, it would look like this, simply 6 times, whoops, wrong color, 6 times 3 plus, or actually not plus, it'd be times 0.1 times 0.1. And 6 times 3 is 18. 18 times 0.01. And so the decimal, 2 places over, and then start here, 2 places over, you end up with 0.18. Which is kind of the long way around the barn, I think, but if it works for you guys, feel free to think about it in those terms and solve those. So do the rest of set D. That's it, just those 2 pages. We are done. I will see you guys tomorrow.